It only takes one wrong click and your heart drops. You empty the bin on your Mac, unplug a drive too early, or a macOS update goes weird, and suddenly the files you need have just vanished. Photos, invoices, uni assignments, Final Cut projects, family videos, all gone. Today, I want to walk you through the top 10 ways people lose data on their Mac or laptop. Stuff I've actually hit myself over the last few years, and show you how I fix them using Wondershare Recoverit version 14, which for me is one of the best data recovery software options out there for Mac data recovery. We'll do everything on my Mac using real drives and real files, and I'll show you how Recoverit version 14 actually works in practice to recover deleted files on a Mac, not just in theory. Hey everyone, it's Andy from Mr. Yoo-Hoo. If you've been around the channel for a while, you might remember I've done a number of Recoverit videos, including recently a full 3-part series on Wondershare Recoverit. In these videos, I used to save a deleted YouTube project from a portable SSD, a totally corrupted SD card, an old internal hard drive full of forgotten footage, and even a USB stick with family memories on it that I'd lost. Since then, Wondershare has released Recoverit version 14 with some big upgrades, especially for Mac users. You still get all the core Mac data recovery software features, but now you've got some extras. To start with, you've got AI-powered repair and enhancement for photos and videos. There's specialized recovery for cameras, drones, and handheld devices, and much deeper support for the Apple ecosystem. Things like ProRes and HEVC, Final Cut Pro and Logic Pro project files, and full compatibility with the latest macOS 26 version. Very quickly guys, before we hit the top 10, if you want to follow along or just have this ready for the day something goes wrong, I'll have a Recoverit version 14 link in the description. You can download it, run a full scan for free, and only pay if you actually need to recover something. While you're there guys, hit like and subscribe, and also put a comment. And you can also check out our previous 3-part Recoverit series if you want a deeper dive, and you'll see where it really did save me. A 30-second summary about what actually is Recoverit version 14. It's a data recovery tool you install on your Mac or PC, like this. Once it's on there, you point it at whatever's in trouble. Your Mac's internal drive, an external SSD or HDD, an SD card, USB stick, camera, drone, even an NAS. Guys, it scans for files that have been deleted, formatted, corrupted, or damaged. You can preview photos, videos, and documents, and if they're intact or repairable, you can restore them to a safe location. And it all works so simply. In version 14, they've added AI recovery and enhancement. So if you pull back a damaged photo, Recoverit can actually repair it and sharpen it. If you've got a broken MP4 or MOV file that won't play, it can intelligently repair formats like MP4, MOV, H.264, and give you a usable video again. For photos, it enhances low quality shots using AI upscaling, sharpening, and color optimization. Going back to cameras and drones, it supports things like RAW 16-bit, ProRes, HEVC, etc. And it brings those back with the metadata intact. So gyro data, GPS, timecode, all of these you can drop back into your file editing software or whatever you use. And you can keep going like nothing happened. And the great plus about this is all this runs locally on your Mac. Nothing gets uploaded to the cloud, which is huge. If you're dealing with client work or personal stuff, you don't want it to go anywhere else, and it saves locally, which is a big feature. All right, so let's get into the heart of it. The top 10 ways people lose data on their Mac or their laptop, and how I deal with it using Recoverit version 14. First one is a classic I always have. You delete something, empty the bin, and then realize you actually needed that folder. On macOS, once the bin is emptied, fine is done, there's no undo. But with Recoverit version 14, what I can do is select my Mac's internal drive, start a scan for deleted files, and let it dig underneath what Finder can see. It'll show me a list of deleted items, like you can see here, but the key thing is I can actually preview them as well. Photos, documents, even Final Cut libraries before I bring them back. I tick what I want, choose a different folder or drive to restore it to, hit recover, and the permanently deleted file is back. You can see just guys how easy it was to use. Number 2 is formatting the wrong drive or SD card. You're in Disk Utility, tidying up the drives, you hit erase, and only afterwards realize that the SSD with your project on it or the camera card from your last shoot has gone. Guys, I've done this too many times. The important thing here is don't write anything new to that drive. In Recoverit, as you can see, I choose a formatted disk option, pick the drive I just nuked, and start a deep scan. It often reconstructs the older folder structure, or at least group files by type. Photos, videos, documents. Again, I preview and restore to a different disk. I've recovered full travel shoots, guys, from freshly formatted cards that should have been game over. Number 3 is the external SSD or HDD that suddenly doesn't mount. You plug it into your Mac, it spins up, but nothing shows the desktop. Disk Utility might see it, but it won't mount, or it asks you to initialize it. Instead of click initialize and wiping it for good, I close that and open Recoverit. The software can still see the raw dice, even when Finder can't. I select that drive, run a scan, and in a lot of cases, it can still read the underlying data, so I can pull off photos, videos, etc. Time Machine archives, client folders, whatever's still there, before the drive dies completely. And it was a big lifesaver as well for me when I want to use some of my older files for new projects. Number 4 is corrupted SD cards from cameras and drones. So you're out filming, everything looks fine, you get back, put the card in your Mac, and macOS tells you it can't read it, or it just comes up blank. Or the card mounts, but the DCIM folder is a mess and the file won't open. With version 14, I can plug in the card directly, choose a card and Recoverit interface, and start a scan. What I like with this version is the camera and drone recovery is tuned for things like RAW, ProRes, XVAC-C, RAW, ProRes, GoPro, and DJI formats. So it's not just guessing at generic video files, you'll often see clips come back with original file names and all the metadata. Guys, if some of them are damaged, the AI video repair can also rebuild them as well, so they actually play smooth again. And as you guys can see, it's an all-in-one video recovery tool. Number 5 is macOS or app updates going wrong. You update macOS or you update Final Cut Pro, and afterwards a project refuses to open or a drive suddenly looks empty. I've had a Final Cut library get corrupted after an update, and it's a horrible feeling. In that situation, I scan the drive where the library lived with Recoverit and specifically look for the project file types. Final Cut libraries, Logic projects, etc. Version 14 has much better support for Apple's own codecs and project structures. So a lot of the time, those dead projects will be brought back in a state where they open again, instead of being stuck as unplayable files. Now guys, we're more than halfway through. Number 6 is pulling a drive or SD card out mid-transfer. You're in a rush, you drag across a folder, and the copy starts, then you unplug the cable a bit too early. Next time you plug the drive back in, half the folder is missing or the file's error out. Here I use Recoverit to scan both locations, the source drive and the destination. Sometimes the complete files are still on the original drive, other times the new location has recoverable fragments that Recoverit can stitch back together, especially with video where the AI repair can fix broken headers. How about number 7? Well, this is where we get to virus or malware damage. It's less common on Mac than on Windows, but it does happen. Weird scripts that hide or rename files, or ransomware that partially encrypts things. Once a machine is clean and you're not actively infected, that's when I bring on Recoverit. I scan the affected drive, and often it can see older, untouched versions of your files underneath the mess. Because it works at the storage level, it's not relying on whatever the malware has done to file names or folders. Number 8 is partition errors and weird disk messages. You boot up and your Mac says the drive can't be read, or Disk Utility shows a partition but says it needs to be repaired or erased. Rather than jumping straight to erase, close everything off and go into Recoverit version 14 first. I scan the entire physical disk instead of just a problem partition. Recoverit can often see files across damaged partitions unless you pull them up to a healthy drive, so you don't lose your data while you're fixing or replacing the hardware, which is great. Number 9 is losing files straight from apps, especially creative work. So say I'm using Wondershare Filmora and I create some files and something crashes and the project either corrupts or disappears. So where the Apple ecosystem supports version 14 is useful. I put Recoverit at the drive or folder where I store my libraries and look specifically for the project files and cache folders. It's not magic. If something was never saved, you can't recover it. But I've had situations where a broken file came back in a usable form because Recoverit had an earlier version sitting on a disk that macOS had marked as deleted. And finally, number 10, which I think is the most emotional one, is losing personal photos and videos. Family events, travel footage, kids growing up. This is where the new AI repair and enhancement Recoverit version 14 really shines. When I recovered old USB or family photos, some files were damaged or super low quality. Version 14 didn't just bring them back, it actually repaired some of the broken images, sharpened a few blurry ones, and cleaned up a video that used to glitch and freeze. You hit recovery, you're not just getting a corrupt file back, you're getting something you can actually watch and enjoy again. Guys, these are my big 10. There are plenty of other ways people lose data, accidental deletes from NAS systems, Linux drives, random USB sticks you find in a drawer, but the pattern is always the same. Something goes wrong and you either have to tool ready like this or you don't. So to wrap up, a few quick things I really love about Recoverit version 14 as a whole. Supports a massive range of devices. Internal drive, SSDs, SD cards, camera drones, etc. And over 1,000 different file types. It's tuned for Mac data recovery with support for Apple's codecs and creative tools. It adds AI photo and video repair on top of recovery, and it all runs locally on your Mac, so your data stays private. If something's gone wrong for you, the most important advice I can give, guys, stop using that drive, don't reformat it, don't keep copying stuff onto it, and try proper data recovery software like this as early as you can. You can download Recoverit version 14, run a full scan for free, and only upgrade if you actually see your files you want to bring back. So guys, really there is no loss to it. So I'll put links to Recoverit version 14 in the description, along with our previous 3-part Recoverit series, and also our other Recoverit videos. We love doing this software, and it's really helped us. And if you've got your own data loss horror story, or if Recoverit has already saved you once, drop in the comments. I'd genuinely love to read them. Thanks for joining us here. It's Andy from Mr. Yoo-Hoo, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.